He looked like just another guy on the street until he sat down at the board. A billionaire live-streamed a $10,000 chess challenge and laughed when a homeless man joined in. But what happened over the next 10 minutes silenced the crowd, humiliated the host, and exposed a secret no one saw coming. This wasn't just a game. This was revenge. In 64 squares. The camera was live. Central Park buzzed with sound. Street musicians, honking taxis, and a crowd gathered around a velvet-covered chess table in front of a pop-up LED banner. Beat the billionaire. Win $10,000. It was all part of a viral campaign. Noah Ellison, 28-year-old tech mogul, VR startup king, and self-styled digital philosopher, was live-streaming his latest challenge to the world. "You think you're smart? Prove it," he said, grinning into the camera. "One game? Blitz. Winner takes 10 grand. I've got 3 slots left today. Who's next?" He was dressed for the part. Designer hoodie, sunglasses, a watch worth more than a car. His fans cheered from behind phones, lining up for a selfie even if they didn't play. Most people laughed. Some tried and lost in under 5 minutes. Then a man stepped forward. At first, no one noticed him. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't holding a phone. He wore a stained olive trench coat, sleeves torn at the cuffs, and carried a canvas duffel bag that had seen too many winters. He looked tired. Not broken, just somewhere else in his mind. "You play?" Noah asked, raising an eyebrow. "Used to," the man replied, his voice low but clear. "Mind if I sit?" There were chuckles. Someone in the crowd whispered, "Is this guy serious?" Noah smirked. "Sure, Grandpa. Let's see what you've got." The man sat down and pulled out something unexpected, his own wooden chess clock, battered but functional. He set it on the table. The board was reset. Noah hit record match on the stream. "All right, everyone, here's the final challenge of the day. Tech genius versus park philosopher. Let's go." The first few moves were fast. Pawn to e4, knight to c6. Classical opening. Noah looked confident, relaxed, joked with the camera. But then the man started moving differently. Not slow, not fast, just surgical. His pieces glided. His eyes never left the board. 5 moves in, and Noah paused longer than expected. 7 moves in. His brow furrowed. 10 moves. He leaned in, suddenly quiet. The crowd leaned in too. Noah's queen was trapped. "Wait. What?" he muttered. No one laughed this time. The man simply sat still, fingers resting lightly on the edge of the board. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't showboating. He was hunting. "This guy's legit," someone whispered. Noah stared at the board, visibly shaken, and then the man spoke, softly, like reciting a memory. "Your next move loses a rook. Your backup plan loses the game." The camera zoomed in on Noah's face, confused, frustrated, exposed. "Who are you?" Noah asked. The man didn't answer. He simply pressed the clock. Tick. "Knight to f3, the man said, gently tapping the board. Noah didn't respond. Not right away. He was staring, not at his opponent, but at the pieces. His queen's pawn was boxed in. His bishop was already neutralized. It made no sense. This guy was playing like he had seen every move coming before the game even began. "You studied, huh?" Noah forced a chuckle. "You one of those guys who memorized openings online?" The man didn't reply. He just leaned back in the creaking chair, eyes lowered like a monk watching leaves fall. The crowd was growing. From a handful of curious tourists to nearly 50 people now standing in a circle around the match, drawn in by the change in energy. The laughter had stopped. So had the selfies. Now it was just the sound of clocks ticking and fingers snapping on wood. "This guy's not just good," someone whispered. He's surgical. Another man near the back pulled out his phone and muttered, I think I've seen this before. That Bishop trap. That's from the Karpov-Kasparov 85 replay. Noah tried to recover with a central advance, pushing a pawn to e5. The man responded with silence. 3 seconds, 5, 10, then bishop to c4. Check. Noah's hand jolted. The move wasn't just aggressive, it was humiliating. He hadn't even seen the diagonal threat. The crowd reacted with gasps. Okay, Noah said, trying to keep his composure. Okay, you got me thinking now. That's all this is. It's not about thinking, the man replied. It's about seeing. There was something in his tone. Not pride, not taunting, memory. Noah fumbled. He sacrificed a knight, a desperate trade to delay the attack. The man accepted it cleanly, immediately. No hesitation. Then he castled long. Tight defense. Clean strategy. Noah's play looked like TikTok tactics. The man's play? It looked like poetry wrapped in warfare. People were filming now. Live streams popping up with titles like Homeless Man Dismantles Tech Billionaire in Public Chess Match. Noah finally snapped. All right, what is this? Are you a plant? A YouTuber doing some viral setup? You think this is funny? The man didn't flinch. You invited the world to watch. I just gave them something to see. Another move, rook to e1. Suddenly, Noah was staring down a mate in 3. His hands hovered over the board. Then, dropped. I resign. The clock ticked once more. The man didn't smile. He didn't gloat. He just stood up, adjusted the straps on his worn canvas bag, and started to walk. But before he left, he said one last thing, soft enough for only Noah to hear. Next time, don't bet money against a man who's already lost everything. And just like that, he disappeared into the crowd. It didn't take long. The clip of the final moves, Noah sweating, the man quietly delivering mate, had already been trimmed, edited, and reposted on 3 different TikTok accounts before Noah had even packed up his pieces. Within an hour, it hit Twitter. Comment sections boiled. Reddit was the first to dig. One blurry freeze frame of the man's face. One enhanced image of the old wooden clock. Then a name. Daniel Kravitz. The chess community exploded. A buried headline resurfaced. Grandmaster withdraws from international play following family tragedy. 12 years ago, Daniel Kravitz had been one of the fastest rising minds in competitive chess. Cold calculation, fearless aggression, photographic memory. But after a devastating house fire took the lives of his wife and daughter, he dropped out of the world. Literally. There were rumors, shelters, psychiatric holds. People said they saw him in train stations, parks, food lines. No one knew for sure. Until now. And now the world was watching. Meanwhile, Noah was crumbling. He posted a 60-second apology video stammering about fairness and how he didn't know the guy was a pro, followed by a defensive stream where he insisted the challenge was meant to be fun, not an open invitation for humiliation. But it was too late. Memes had already done their work. His face frozen mid-confusion. Caption: When you challenge a wizard to a memory game. His career wasn't over. But his brand? Shattered. Journalists flooded the park the next day, hoping to catch another glimpse of Kravitz. But he was gone. Some said he had been seen on the F train heading north. Others claimed he gave away the $10,000 in cash to a shelter and disappeared into a storm drain like a myth. And in his place, only one thing remained. A folded note left on the chess table. Not all kings wear crowns. The world didn't let him disappear this time. A viral thread on X, formerly Twitter, compiled old tournament footage, shaky interviews, even a scanned program from the 2009 Grandmaster Open in Reykjavik. There he was, Daniel Kravitz, 28 years old, hair longer, eyes brighter, trophies in hand. He was unstoppable, one former commentator posted. His endgames were surgical. He saw 10 moves ahead like they were printed on the table. Chess.com did a full video breakdown of his match against Noah, showing every subtle trap and calculated feint. Grandmasters reacted in disbelief. That wasn't blitz. That was a man playing a memorized symphony. But it wasn't just the chess world that took notice. Reporters tracked down former students, old coaches, a childhood friend. Everyone said the same thing. He didn't just win. He understood the game like it was breathing. Then came the real revelation. A photo surfaced from a subway chess corner in Brooklyn. A group of teens huddled around a folding table, laughing, talking trash. And there he was, Kravitz, in that same worn coat, quietly nodding as he showed one kid how to escape a 4-move mate. A community worker confirmed it. Yeah, he's been around for years. Never asked for money. Never told anyone who he was. Just called himself Dan, said he used to play. He had been teaching street kids for free, sleeping in shelters, eating at soup kitchens, and still playing chess every single day. Not for trophies, not for views, just for the purity of the board. Back in Midtown, a reporter finally tracked him down. Kravitz refused the interview. "I'm not a story," he said. "I'm just a man who loves the game." But before leaving, he paused. "You know why I beat him?" he asked. "Because he thought it was about winning. I knew it was about understanding." He smiled, the first time anyone had seen it on camera. Then he disappeared again. No one saw him board a train. No one followed him home. He was there, and then he wasn't. But now, the whole world knew his name. It didn't end with the game. It started there. After the video hit 100 million views, the story of Daniel Kravitz became more than a moment. It became a movement. Donations poured in, chess forums, streamers, even a few embarrassed billionaires pitched into a GoFundMe that hit $500,000 in under 3 days. But when organizers tried to hand him the money, he refused. "I don't need that," he said. "Give it to the shelters, and give the rest to the kids who want to play." Instead, he accepted one thing: a room. A single, warm, clean studio space offered by a nonprofit in Brooklyn, with a chessboard already waiting on the table. That's where he started the 64 Initiative, a free program for homeless teens, underfunded schools, and anyone who had never touched a piece but wanted to learn. No press conferences, no PR team, just folding chairs, beat-up clocks, and a man who showed them how pawns could become queens. One video showed a 12-year-old kid beat a college student during a public match. The boy shrugged and said, "Dan said don't play for the win. Play to see everything." Another girl, asked what she learned, smiled. "That patience is a weapon." Clips went viral again, but this time it wasn't for drama. It was for hope. 2 months later, the World Chess Federation reached out. They offered Kravitz a full reinstatement, wildcard invites, exhibition matches, even a chance to coach. He politely declined. "I already have students." 1 year later, during the U.S. Open finals, the cameras cut to a seat in the front row. And there he was. Same coat, same calm. One of his students made it to the semifinals. When asked what it felt like to be back in the spotlight, he said only, "This time, it's not about me." And so it ended the way it began. Not with fanfare, but with a single move. One quiet genius. One worn board. And a new generation of players who no longer played for money, power, or ego, but because someone had finally shown them how beautiful the game really was.